Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another review of Married to Medicine. Today, we're going to be talking about the episode 13 of season 11. But before we go ahead and talk about it, how would you rate yesterday's episode?
I would have to give him a 4.
Yeah.
Just because we're still kind of going over some of the stuff we've been
Yeah.
going over.
I swear to God, I felt the same way. I'm going to give it a 2
Okay.
because the amount of time I had to say, what the heck? The amount of times they had to replay that fight, I was like, I have seen this over and over again. It's beginning to piss me off at this point. At this point, I'm beginning to get pissed off by how many times they are replaying that fight. Like, please, if I sit down and play that fight again one more time, I think I might lose it. I think I might lose it. I swear. Well, anyway, I guess that's like the one big thing that happened this season, so they're kind of capitalizing on it. So I also do understand. But anyway, let's talk about this episode. We started this episode with Toya and um Eugene in the living room or kitchen, whatever it was, and they were talking about Toya saying she wanted to throw a party and invite all the couples because they are celebrating their anniversary and she wanted everybody to be there. And considering the fact that there's this huge fight in the group that has divided them, right?
Right.
And when she said that, I was like, how is she gonna pull that off? Because she literally knows that there's a divide in the group. Like there's this huge divide, like this very huge divide. But she said she wanted to do that. And I love the fact that she questioned Dr. Eugene that why didn't he reach out to uh, Dr. G? But I do understand where Eugene was coming from because I too also feel that kind of way that if you had that kind of explosive stuff happening, I will feel like maybe you do really do need distance, you need space. Because sometimes space be one thing that will heal you.
Right.
Distance from all the drama and everybody involved sometimes could just give you that healing that you need. And maybe when you're back, you're now full fledged to talk about what went on. So I understand where Eugene was coming from. Um, but I also felt a certain way that if he knew Dr. G so much, I don't think Dr. G would have appreciated the distance because me that I've been watching the show previous years, I knew that Dr. G would not have yes, Eugene on and had his own um thinking, but I don't think Dr. G thinks like that. I think Dr. G is that kind of person that wants Dr. G always wants somebody that will be like, always there, always there, always there. You'll be for me. He always likes to pull the crowd to him. So that's just it. That's how I felt that, I felt like Dr. G was gonna feel a certain way that they didn't come for him, they were not there for him, which actually happened because before we go ahead and talk about that, we also have Dr. Heavenly and also Quad meeting up and also talking about the whole altercation and Quad saying that um she can be like as at this time her and King and Latisha and Dr. Gori cannot be in the same room. And I think yes, but I also feel like they can be in the same room but respect themselves because they are grown as people. I feel like I've gone to parties that I don't want necessarily like people that are there, but I know that I've gone to that party, had my fun, and come back home without having to say anything to you,
Right.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they could be matured enough to say, okay, I'm gonna be there wherever you are, but I'm gonna respect myself by not entertaining you, and you too saying, okay, I'm gonna respect myself by entertaining you. So the fact that Quad is like, you know what, I don't want to be anywhere near them, and I was like, okay, I was first wondering, okay, why would that be? Why would it be going? Although during the week I already found out the reason why she was saying that she could not be in the presence of Dr. G. Then we found out when the ladies hung out together for Toya's dance, rehearsal, that
Mm-hmm.
Dr. G filed a restraining order. Now, when I heard that, I saw this like since on Monday last week. Is it Monday or Tuesday last week? That's when I saw it was a sneak peek that came out for the
Mm-hmm.
upcoming episode. When I did see that, no, this particular one came out on Thursday or be on Wednesday. I can't remember the day. I said that how did it get to that extent that Dr. G decided that, you know what, I'm going to press charges. We've seen worse altercations on Might and Medicine, on almost all reality TV shows we watch. We've seen
Right.
worse altercations. We've seen, this one it doesn't even it's not even up to some of the altercations we've seen on reality TV, right? And
Right.
it's always rare when you hear that they press charges. It's rare. The only time you hear they press charges is if it's that serious. That even the viewers, the producers, the editors, everybody will be like, no, this is assault,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is not it. This is two grown men talking shit. And at the end of the day, if you want to talk shit, you should own up to it and be able to stand when you know, when it becomes bad. You get anything you want to say, be prepared to defend it.
Right.
And Dr. G said what he said, but he wasn't able to defend it. King said what he said, and he was prepared to defend himself, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, there wasn't like I don't feel like when I heard that he wanted to he pressed charges, I did not for one. Even when we watched justification, I never for one. If you had said that, that would have led to an you know if restraining order or whatever, I would have said it's a lie. I never thought it would get to that extent at
Mm-hmm.
all. And to hear that, I was very surprised and I don't know, a little bit disappointed at Dr. G. I don't know. Maybe it's just my perspective. How did you feel about hearing about that?
You know, I feel like it was a bunch of actions without a bunch of reaction, meaning, okay, so he charged, he took his shirt off, he charged at you, but he didn't touch you. You know, words were said, you know. That's what happens when some people disagree, and I feel for Dr. G, you know, I don't know how afraid you gotta be in order to call the police. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I guess if you're afraid, you know, um, that's your next resource. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand that Atlanta is a small place. It seems like it. And the reason why I said that is because uh, the dude Kenya had paid to date her on the show is Cecil's nephew. Like what? You know what I'm saying? So this place is small. So maybe he's worried about, hey, if I go out with my wife, I might run into him somewhere, or if I'm out by myself, I might run into him. He might come to my job. I don't know, you know, but he
Mm-hmm.
has to be pretty afraid, to call the police and press charges, and then the severity of it, is pretty steep, you know, as far as the charges, you know,
Mm.
what can happen, you know. And I just kind of thought it was like, damn, Dr. G, like, really, you didn't have to do all that. You know what I'm
But if,
saying?
if you're saying that you felt like he was afraid, right? Let's
But,
give it that he was afraid. Right, yeah,
okay.
because sometimes we get into fights, even if we started it and we don't expect it to get to that extent, right? Then you get scared. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We saw it between Contessa and Heavenly, where the fight ensued and Heavenly backed up because,
Right,
she's not for that life, right?
right. True, true.
But no, I don't think when you say he was scared, they left the trip. Do you know when you say scared, you know what is coming to my mind? Okay, you left the trip, you left his vicinity, you left the area. It's not like he then called you after, maybe threatening you,
Right.
or maybe when they came back to Atlanta, he came at you again or came to your house because he knows their house, right?
Yeah,
Did he
for
come to your
sure.
house? Did he try to come to you? Did he try to, you know, get to you? Did he do anything that came? Did he come around you after coming back from Key West back to Atlanta? Did he try to get to you? Did he try to reach you? Then, if any of those things happened, like maybe King was still threatening him, King was still voting him, King was still making him uncomfortable, I would have said, okay, fine. That guy needs to collect a restraining order, right?
Right.
But none of those things happened. You had left. Immediately the fight happened, you left. You came back
Mm-hmm.
to Atlanta.
Right.
They still spent a whole day in Key West
Mm-hmm.
before they came back to Atlanta. So even if he said he was scared and that's what made him file charges, I don't understand where this scared part is coming from.
Right.
I would have preferred he said I just felt like filing charges. Like, but saying that I feared for what life?
Right. Yeah, I just didn't get it either. I mean, I didn't think it was that deep, you know, for him to involve the cops.
Yeah,
You know,
even me.
I just didn't
I
think it
never
was
thought
that
it was
deep.
that deep.
Yeah, precisely. You know,
Yeah,
so I mean, since he did, I mean,
yeah.
you know, he's kind of looking like, okay, he might be in the wrong because he's taking it too far. You know what I'm saying? When it could have just been a simple, uh, hey, let's talk about it. Okay, you know, I apologize for the things that I said
For
because,
things
hey,
like that, yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to protect my wife as you're trying to protect your girlfriend.
And and that is where I'm going to a little bit call for Dr. Heavenly, because Dr. Heavenly was trying to make a point that um he literally that he she doesn't understand the restraining order because he was trying to defend his person, which everybody in that room would do. She was trying to make the argument, and I was like, she said something like, if you say something about my man, or somebody says something about your wife to your man, don't you think they're going to fight? Your man's going to fight for you, or your wife's going to fight for you? And I said, this is double standard because you said something about other people's husband. Like that
Mm,
that was what I said there, because like, Dr. Heavenly, if there's anybody that will be saying that, not you, because every other person, I don't think everybody has. Although this whole group, they find a way to always say something stupid whenever they are having arguments. So I don't think anybody's innocent.
true.
Yeah, they've gone to hell in this group with the things they say about each other. So yeah, everybody there is guilty at the end of the day. Yes, every single one of them there is guilty. Every
Yeah,
single one of them there is
yeah,
very guilty.
I agree.
Um, Yeah. Then we had Toya and Mimi meeting up with Sweetie to talk about um the event and how, because Toya was like she wants to invite both Sweetie and Greg and King, and how they're going to go forward by, she wanted them to be in her party. And Sweetie made some kind of statement being like, um she has to talk back with Greg. She wants to know where Greg is at before she makes a decision. Even when it comes to her friendship with the ladies, she has to know what Greg is feeling like before she says. Do you feel like she was depending on her decision on Greg, or the way she said it was right? Because it's an argument. People will say, okay, fine. Since it's her husband, this thing happened to her, she would want to first get back with her husband before making a decision. But other people will argue that this is about the girls. It's never. This is not Dr. G's cup of tea. When it comes to the girls, it's the girls' issue. So, do you think her responses when she was having that conversation with Dr. Mimi and Toya didn't make sense, or did you understand where Sweetie was coming from?
I mean, I I I'm kind of understanding where she's coming from, simply
Yeah,
because I'm married,
yeah,
and if I'm having a problem with somebody, I'm not
yeah,
trying to, like, let's say I'm in a group of people, me and my husband, and I'm having a problem with another wife, and my
yeah.
husband's having a kind of similar problem with that person's mate, and I really like being
But
around the
Sweetie,
group.
let's put it in place. Sweetie does not really have issues with Quad.
Okay.
You- As we've watched on the show, Sweetie doesn't really have issues with Quad. We know that, right?
Right.
It's mostly her husband that has the issue with Quad.
True.
Mhm. I just
True.
wanted to put that out before you continue saying what you're going to say.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like, if my husband is having a problem with somebody, and I'm having a problem with their mate, you know, but I really like the group. Yeah, I'm gonna have to consult with my husband because, maybe we need to shake this group and start our own group. You know what I'm saying? Or see if
Yeah.
if we can honestly fit into this group, if we have the same standards and we're going to be around these people, you know what I'm saying? Then we have to come to
Mhm.
some type of resolution. So I wouldn't be able to say, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to hang out with you. I don't care what my husband say. No, no, no. That's my dude. We're
Mhm.
going to come to agreement on how we're going to move.
Together.
Yeah. Now if
Okay.
I'm single, yeah, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do. I ain't got to talk to nobody.
So you stand with Sweetie with the response she gave.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then you got to look at it like this too. Like when she was trying to have a conversation with him, he blew the hell up. So
Yeah.
maybe she just doesn't want to argue about the same shit anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because he's
Mm-hmm.
real touchy when it comes to that. So she's just leaving it alone.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like this is a little bit of double standard, right? Because I remember last season when Sweetie was the sweetheart of the season,
Hmm.
when she was the lovely one amongst the cast members, right? Everybody was trying to push Sweetie to her
Hmm.
faces and make Quad look like the bad person.
Hmm.
At that time, she was not even looking about talking about her husband. She just wanted to fit into the team. She didn't have an issue. You
Right.
get. I don't know whether you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Those time she was not going back to consult with her husband before she took decisions on some certain things, or some certain happenings. But all of a sudden now, you're now being like, that's where my own double standard is. If you want to do something, the only time I believe that something is real is if you want to do something, do it from the beginning. Do it from the beginning. Like, be truthful to who you are. If you are that kind of person that wants to always go back to ask your husband for opinions on how to go about your friend group and everything, start it from the beginning. Don't start it now that you're starting it now because of there is a big issue. It's now giving me like, okay, is this really them?
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe she's never seen this side of him. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
I'm assuming like, okay, she's like, okay, look, I never seen this Joker act like this. You know, there's some deep rooted issues here, and right now I just don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Okay.
don't know if that's how she's feeling.
Okay. Okay. You feel like maybe she's surprised by his actions and
Yeah,
probably just wants to upset him?
yeah. I mean, with the way he was acting, you know, if I was a kind of a timid woman, you know, I probably would have kind of backed off of it too. But me not being timid, and I'm going to get my point across, you know, because my point, eh, my words, these are words. Words cannot hurt you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Even if you're yelling the words still don't hurt you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I got a harder inside and a harder shell than most. You know, but
Okay.
I'm gonna have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm a timid woman, you know, which I have been in the past, my earlier part
Yeah.
of my life, you know, hey, certain things I don't want to argue about it because I'm just trying to keep the peace,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well, I
maybe
think like,
she's, yeah, maybe she's, you know, kind of weighing everything out. Like, is it really worth it for me to have an argument in my house, you know,
yeah.
just to try and make this work out with these girls?
Mm.
Because, see, she didn't marry the girls, she married Dr. G.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. At the end of the day, it's her husband she should stand for. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, she should stand for her husband. Well, I guess we'll see how that will play out. Um, but it's also rub a certain way to the ladies because right now the ladies are being like, okay, you don't feel like you are referring everything to your husband. That means if the ladies now understand why they are like that on social media, because now the ladies, I know I told you that day that I thought Dr. Mimi was Sweetie's friend, but after the reunion, she was hanging out with the quad and a man. So I told you that.
No, wait a minute. Sweet Tea was hanging out with Quad.
No, 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 no. Dr. Mimi and
Oh,
her
Dr.
husband
Mimi. Okay, was hanging out with Quad. Okay.
was hanging out with quad after they shot the reunion.
Oh, okay.
So, I was saying it last week. I said I thought that she was Sweetie's friend. So I wanted to understand where the dynamics changed,
Mm.
where she started shifting, and she's now closer to quad. So I think this is part of the things because if you're talking to your girlfriend being like, "Oh girl, I want us to be still the way we are," and the girlfriend is telling me, "You know what, I will listen to my husband." It's like some women will be like, "You know what, I don't want to fight this. Since you
Right.
want to listen to you, let me just shift away from you." Well, I guess we'll find out more about what the dynamics of relationships of this group is. But let's go ahead and talk about Scott and Dr. Eugene meeting up with Dr. G, right? And when I tell
Okay.
you that part of the episode, like, oh my God. Ah, I have seen this video since last week. And when I saw the video last week, I did a short about it that I said I was disappointed.
Hmm.
And I said I was also disappointed in Sweetie because I will not embarrass myself to record my husband in that situation and still tell him, "Oh, you're doing well, my black chocolate." Oh my God.
Hey, she's probably just still trying to keep the peace. I mean,
I understand trying to keep the peace.
yeah,
I do understand trying to keep the peace because at the end of the day, that's what matters in a relationship, trying to
right.
keep the peace. But I also understand that at some certain time, you have to just be like, I'm trying to keep the peace, but I'm not done. How would you stay and watch your husband write a song about his ex-wife, and you are the one that is holding the camera and being like, "Ooh, oh Jesus Christ!" That can he could. The thing is that he could write the song if he feels a certain way, and that was the only way he can release his emotions. Understandable. But
Right.
for me as the wife to be the one recording him and egging him on, that's on another level. Because this man literally, that song was about a minute long or 2 minutes long, right?
Yeah, about yeah.
And the way he was singing the song, it was giving me, I don't, I don't understand. Are you still in love with what? Because, like Dr. Eugene said, please, Toya, please don't hurt me that bad that will make me go and get a guitar and sing a song. For someone that is not a musician, I understand if you're a musician and your heart got broken, then you make a song from your brokenheartedness. That, yeah, people do it every day. But you're not a musician, you was doctor. And I keep asking myself, is this guy really a psychiatrist? Because man, that guy I cannot be under that guy because my trauma will get worse if I'm under Dr. G. Yeah, because you get to question. No, let's be honest. You get to question his practice.
Right.
How is he a psychiatrist when he doesn't? What is that? And the way you could literally see that Sweetie was over it during the confessional when they were talking about the music. You could see her face, stone cold. She was. T is not feeling what Dr. G is doing, but I don't know. I was really disappointed in Dr. G. And the way it was like, yeah, that was the reason why he filed the charges, that blah, blah, blah. See, do you know that when I listened to Dr. G and the reason why he filed the charges, do you know what I was hearing? I just
Right.
wanted that guy to be in jail. I wanted him to see jail. I wanted him to have a record. That's what I was
Wow.
seeing.
Wow.
Yeah, because the way he said it, that I heard that he could do 90 days, like with joy. Like, it's like, there's something like you were hot and you just you felt hot and you arrested the person, and there's a I want to make you pay
Mm-hmm.
kind of situation. That was what I got from Dr. G. Was just like I heard, because everybody was Dr. Eugene and Dr. Scott were asking him, did he hit you? Did he touch you? No. Then why did you file the charges? And he kept on saying, it will spend 90 days, get a fine, get house arrest. He really wants that guy to be on record. What he was giving me was that he wanted is to give King's name a stain. He wants to show him the big dog. And when he said, I don't understand why you guys were um clamoring towards him instead of me. See, those statements gives me, you know what? I know what you wanted. He thought that if he does what he did, because of those guys have known him longer than they know King, they will come towards him. And when that did not happen, he felt a certain kind of way. But every person that has sense will know that in that situation, there was neither wrong nor right.
Right.
But at the end of the day, King, I didn't even know. They showed us in this episode that the next day, King apologized.
Yeah, I seen
King
that.
even said that he feels bad for Dr. G.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's his feelings involved.
Right.
So he knew he's wrong. He apologized. He knew where he fucked up. So why would those men not say, okay, yeah, this guy has sense? But you, the next thing you did, you flew back immediately. You didn't want to be in anybody's presence. You went home, and the next thing you are filing charges, and you're saying that you want him to spend 90 days in jail or house arrest or whatever. It's given, I just want to show this guy I'm the bigger dog. That's just my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like he could have handled it so much different than that, but he chose not to, for whatever reasons. You know, like I said, I feel like maybe he was just like really afraid that this dude was gonna like whoop his ass. Because Dr. G don't seem like he about that life.
Yeah. But, but how did you feel when you saw the music he did and Sweetie being the one
Oh
recording him?
God. Karaoke at the crib, huh? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's a better psychiatrist than he is a music composer and singer. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, he said it was from his heart. From his heart. So
Yeah.
it was a heartfelt song.
I guess. I mean, I didn't really. I mean, it wouldn't be on my playlist of records.
But he was very, at the end of the day he has a very supportive wife, Sweetie.
Right.
He has a very supportive wife because I know that I cannot be that. I cannot be that. Um, I cannot be that. But anyway, what then we also saw Phaedra having the chat with Dr. Jackie. See, I'm just gonna say I don't know why they are acting this drama. We all know that Phaedra wanted to leave the show and go back to the Real Housewives.
Right.
Why are they doing all this?
I don't know. Maybe they needed somebody to just kind of put the blame on the reason why she's leaving. Well, she's leaving because she wants to be with Portia. Plain and simple. That's her show.
Hmm. I just feel like it was unnecessary. I mean, I'm not I'm a fan of Phaedra, but I know she's not the honest. If they are saying honest women in reality TV, I'm not gonna point Phaedra. I know her as someone that lies a lot. She has been caught in so many lies.
Right.
Um, so her acting this drama on the show, I'm just like, spare me, spare me all this nonsense. At the end of the day, just spare me. But anyways, she has officially left the show because I think this is the last time we'll see her
Mm.
on My Medicine. So she has left the show. Now we got a preview. We got a preview of what is going to happen in next week's episode, where Squad doesn't want to be anywhere near the the Langsford. Do you think they will ever get to a time they can be together?
No, I mean, not unless there's going to be like some type of resolution, you know, between Quad and King and um, Greg, you know. But without a resolution, I don't think they're going to be able to be in the same room, or in the same space. I mean, not without security.
Hmm. But I don't think Well, I don't think King is that kind of person. I think King can know how to stay on his lane, but I think because of the restraining order, we're not going to see him. Although Quad did say that later on, I think she said we're going to see it play out on the show. Later on, I think the cops threw out the case because we're like, there's no case here. You're just fishing.
Right.
That's what Quad said, that it became embarrassing for Dr. G. And
Mhm.
the fact that the group did not like that he kind of made that arrest and made that um stuff, because it's surprising. When I heard it, I was surprised because this group has been kind of a little bit toxic and everything, but we've never seen, even when him and Quad like we're going at it, we've never seen an arrest happen on the show, like a restraining order happen on the show. Like, I don't know. Well, we'll see about it. We'll see about it. Well, well, let's just see how it's gonna go in next week's episode and what it's gonna be like, and where they're really like hiding from each other. And we also see that in the episode, in the preview, we see that Sweetie came without Gregory. Did you catch that?
No, not really.
Yeah, she did come without Gregory.
Okay, where did she go? What was it?
She came to the event that Contessa, that event, the
Oh,
medical stuff, whatever.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she came without Gregory. Except if maybe
Okay.
they didn't put Gregory on the scene, because we also saw a scene where later on the guys went to Gregory and were like, we don't want to get to a space where you cannot come to an event. And he kind of made that bold statement that she's not going to be disrespected. And in my mind, I was like, were you ever disrespected? And it seems like Dr. J is kind of delusional about what really happened in Key West, because his own interpretation. What shall they say in life? There's one person interpretation and the other person, and there's the truth.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the thing is that we watched it, so
Yeah, and I think Dr.
yeah,
G should have just kind of kept his mouth closed.
exactly. He
I
should
mean,
have
that
really kept
was,
his mouth closed.
yeah, I mean, it was like a totally unnecessary conversation to have with Quad's dude.
Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't confronting you about nothing, then why are you saying something? So
Mm-hmm.
to me, it just seems like he started the whole little fiasco.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see how it's gonna play out next week. Because my one concern in this group is how will the dynamics go, because this dynamics is worse than when they kicked Fuad out of that vacation.
Mm.
These dynamics, do you think it's gonna probably lead to Sweetie and Gregory leaving the group and officially leaving the show, or Quad and King leaving the group and officially leaving the show?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it could be, because why would you want to be involved with the show where somebody's trying to get you arrested? I wouldn't want to be. I mean, this man has a livelihood. You know,
Hmm.
so yeah, I don't think I would want to necessarily be part of a show where I'm being you know where I'm kind of being where I'm being judged because I'm getting upset because I'm trying to defend what I feel is mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, let's just see how it's going to play out the dynamics. But thank you guys for joining us on today's review. I'm sorry if I was sounding somehow or I was not really that audible. I sometimes can't hear myself. But we'll be back next week for another recap and review of my to Medicine. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to click the subscription button down below, subscribe, like, and comment. And we'll see you guys same time next week. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.
Bye.